Hello, everyone, and welcome today. So, really glad to have you all joining us today. And my name is Gautam, and with me, I have got Varadaraj.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon.
So, today's session is all about customization in Zoho Writer at every level. Whether you're an admin setting things up for your entire organization, an individual author looking to work faster, or an enterprise team with specific compliance requirements, Writer has something built for each of you. So, we have structured today's session around 5 levels of customization, and Varadarajan and I will be walking you through each one together.
Before we start, a quick housekeeping note. We host these webinars on the second Thursday of every month, so do mark your calendars. The recording will be shared with all the registered users after the session. And if you have any questions during the webinar, please drop them in the Q&A pane and Meghanas, our product expert, will answer them for you.
So, here's a quick look at what we'll be covering today. We'll start with organization customization. So, how admins set up branded templates, fonts, and reusable content blocks so the whole team is always working from an approved baseline. Then, document customization, where you configure formatting defaults so every new document is already set up the way you need it. From there, we go to personal customization. So, individual settings that will help authors write faster and reduce repetitive work. After that, it comes the automation customization, where we look at how mail merge and e-signature can be tailored to fit your specific distribution and signing workflows. And finally, we have enterprise customization, where we'll talk about governance, security, and access controls for organization with compliance requirements.
And for some sections, Gautam will also take us through a live demo. So you'll see these features in action, not just on slides.
Organization or team customization. So this is the first area that we are covering, and we'll start with tech and branding. So teams waste time recreating documents from scratch or copying old files because there is no centralized branded starting point. Custom org templates ensures every document reflects your brand identity from the very first line.
That time loss really adds up, especially across large teams. So, as an organization admin, how can I create and manage branded document templates that my entire team starts from, ensuring every document reflects our corporate identity?
In Writer, admins have got the permission where they can create org-wide templates that everyone in their organization starts from. So think of a consulting firm sending proposals every week. So instead of each consultant manually applying fonts, dropping in logos, and adjusting layouts, the admin sets up one master template, and that's what the whole team works from. So there is no guesswork, no off-brand documents. So you can also upload an existing MS Word document and use its design as the foundation. So your existing investment doesn't go to waste. And as you can see in the admin panel, we have got just two options: create a template or upload one. So once set as the org default, every new document in your organization starts from that baseline automatically.
One setup, consistent output across the entire team. Now, visual consistency doesn't stop at templates. Fonts and themes are where things often break down. What can admins do there, Gautam?
Well, when teams use inconsistent font and color schemes, documents really look unprofessional and off-brand. Corporate fonts and themes ensure visual uniformity without requiring authors to manually format every document they create.
So, as an organization admin, how can I upload custom corporate fonts, create reusable themes, and establish centralized style libraries for my teams?
In Writer, admins can upload fonts directly into their admin panel. So this will be the custom fonts that they upload. So if your brand uses a typeface that isn't in any of the standard library, you're not stuck just by substituting it. You can just upload your fonts once and it is available across your entire organization. So you can also create org designs, a design package where you've got your heading styles, body text, color palette, and spacing into one reusable profile. And if you already have a well styled Word document, you can simply upload it into Writer directly and use its formatting as the basis for your org design. So existing work carries over without rebuilding it from scratch. On the screen here, you can see that on the left side, we have got the font settings panel in the admin console. This has got the available fonts and also the added fonts. So the added fonts is the section where you have added your own custom fonts. So it can be used entirely for your organization. And similarly, on the right side, we have org designs, so which will allow your admins to design the requirements, and once the design is completed, they can simply copy them and paste it into the org design.
So fonts and designs set at the org level flow down to everyone. No individual setup needed. That covers templates, fonts, and designs. One more area to go into this section: reusable content blocks.
Yes. Speaking of that, teams repeatedly type the same clauses, disclaimers, and standard paragraphs. Centralized quick paths eliminates that duplication, reduces errors, and ensures everyone is always using the latest approved version.
That's a real problem for teams dealing with standard or compliance sensitive language. So, as an organization admin, how can I create and share reusable content blocks across my organization so teams don't waste time rewriting standard text?
Well, Writer has a feature called Quick Paths, and this is actually at the organization level. So the admin basically creates a central library of approved content blocks available to everyone. So think of a law firm where every engagement letter needs a specific liability clause. The admin adds it once, and every attorney can insert it with just a couple of clicks. It's Once it is inserted, it's always the current approved version. So there is no copy pasting from old files, no risk of any outdated language going out. So on the screen here, you can see the org quick paths panel in the admin console, where you can find categories like general, office use, marketing team, HR, legal, etc. And the moment the admin adds or updates a block, the whole organization has access to it immediately. So it's basically one library, zero duplication.
That's a strong governance win, especially for teams where the language in a document really matters.
Well, well said, Varda. So now we are going to see a quick demo about the features that we have discussed today. So let me just quickly jump over to Writer. So if you'd like to access Writer, you can simply go to writer.zoho.com and you'll be able to get into the landing page of Writer, where you'll be able to find your favorites, your documents, your templates, organization templates, etc. in one unified dashboard. And furthermore, so the features that we discussed are available in the admin panel. And in order to get into the admin panel, you can just click on the profile icon, and please note that only admins will have access to get into the admin panel. And by clicking on the admin panel, you'll reach this page, and in here on the left panel, you'll find this option called configuration. Just click on it, and in this furthermore, you'll have an option called org default template. And by clicking on it, you can find create template or upload template. So let's just say you would like to create a new template where you'd have to have that as a org default template. So just simply click on it, and that will open up a Writer document. And in this Writer document, you can go ahead and add your custom logos, your backgrounds, your watermarks, etc. The letterhead can be perfectly aligned and it can be created. And by clicking on save, you're making this document available for your entire organization. And let's just say you already have a working template, but that's in a different format. It might be in a docx format. So not to worry, you can just use this upload template option and simply upload that document from your computer, and it can be utilized in Writer as the org default template. And not only from your computer, we also provide an option where you can upload that document as a URL as well. So this is how you can configure org default template in Zoho Writer. And furthermore, moving on, let's talk about custom fonts. So yes, now the template is ready. So everyone, when they create the document, they'll have the consistency will be maintained. But what about the fonts? Yes, we hear you. So here we have the custom fonts available. So what you can do is you can go to the font settings in the admin panel, and all you have to do is just click on add fonts, and you'll have two options. You can either upload the font from your computer, or if you have got a TTF font file as a hosted URL, you can make use of that as well. So by clicking on my computer, you'll have this, you can simply upload your font from the computer. And in here, as you can see, all the font variants is also available. And just by clicking on the checkbox here and selecting upload to library, you can see that these fonts are added into Zoho Writer. And now you can check this added fonts and you'll be able to find the font that you have added. And please know that this is not just for an individual, it's for the entire organization. So all your members in your team will be able to use these custom fonts and utilize that in their own documents. So now let's talk about organization quick paths. So in Writer panel, the admin panel, we have provided option for you to create various categories. And once these categories are created in the org quick paths, what you can do is you can just go to your Writer document, simply select the content that is required and put it into any one of these categories so that it is available for your entire organization. So like we mentioned in the screenshot during the slide, as you can see, there are general office use, developers, support team. So we have various categories and you can simply insert them. Let me show you how this works in real life. So here, let's just say I am a team member and I've got a quick part that has been already saved and I'd like to insert it. And normally it would take some time for me to create these from scratch. Whereas if I'm reusing this frequently, I can make use of this quick part and save that as a quick part. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the signing templates, and which is an org quick part, and I'm going to use this witness signatures. So basically, if I'd like to create a legal document, I would be adding witness 1, witness 2, and I'll be adding signer fields for those witnesses as well. Whereas in this case, all I have to do is just go over there and click on the witness fields so that it's automatically inserted into my document according to my preference. So in case if you'd like to save a new quick part, what you can do is simply select the content and go to quick parts from the right panel, and you'll have an option to save this into quick parts. And you can also select the category required and go ahead and give it a name and just save it. So that's about the features that we saw in the first section. Now quickly, let's move on to the next one.
Thank you for the detailed demo, Gautam. That really puts everything we covered in section 1 into perspective. Templates, fonts, and reusable content all set up once at the org level. But here's something worth thinking about. Even with all of that in place, authors still end up adjusting fonts, spacing, or locale settings every time they open a new document. That's where document level defaults come in. Default formatting ensures every new document starts exactly the way your organization expects, without any manual setup each time.
Well, that makes sense. But how can I set default fonts, color schemes, locale, and formatting preferences so that every new document or template is pre-configured to my organization standards.
In Writer, you can configure default text styles, font size, color, line spacing, and paragraph spacing, and save them so every new document already has the right formatting applied. Locale is part of this too. Whether you are writing in British English, a regional language, or need a specific date format, Writer checks against the right standard for your context. On screen here, on the left is the default style dialog where you set your text and paragraph styles with a single checkbox to apply it to all new documents. On the right is the email settings notification panel where you control what document activities trigger a notification, also applicable to all new documents going forward.
That's a small one-time configuration that pays off every single time a new document is opened.
So every author has repetitive content they type daily: email responses, legal clauses, project descriptions. Personal snippets and templates let individuals work faster without waiting for org level changes.
Well, that repetition adds up over time. So, how can I personalize my writing experience in Zoho Writer in order to avoid repetitive typing and speed up my document creation with reusable snippets and templates?
Writer gives you a personal quick paths library separate from the org level one. A sales executive responding to RFPs regularly can save their standard company overview, pricing disclaimer, and product description as personal snippets. Next time, it's a couple of keystrokes, not a paragraph retyped from memory. You can also build personal templates, so if you create the same type of document repeatedly, like a project kickoff doc or a weekly status report, you save your structure once and start from a ready to go version every time. On screen here on the left, you can see the Quick Paths panel showing my Quick Paths under personal category alongside the org categories, so your personal content and the org library are both accessible from the same place. On the right is the My Templates view where personal templates are saved and ready to use.
It's basically personal speed without stepping outside the org's consistency. Now, the other side of personal customization, how the editor feels itself to work in.
Authors work differently. Some prefer dark mode, others need a distraction free focus mode, and many have specific proofing language needs. Customizing the editor makes writer feel like their own tool.
Well, that's a fair point. The editor experience really does vary from person to person. So, how can I customize my editor settings, my proofing preferences, and workspace layout in Zoho Writer in order to match my own personal workflow?
Writer lets you configure the editor to work the way you do. On the proofing side, you can set your preferred language for spell check and add words to a personal dictionary. So if you are writing in a specific regional language or using industry specific terms, Writer isn't flagging them as errors. You can also set up autocorrect with your own shortcodes. A legal professional can map NDA2 to a full NDA clause or disc to disclosure or disclosing party, and it expands automatically as you type. On the screen here on the left is the personal dictionary panel where you set your own language and add custom words. On the right is the autocorrect panel with shortcode mappings already set up. Entries like NDA2, RECP, DISC, and CONF, each expanding to a full legal phrase.
And all of this is personal. It's basically your dictionary, your shortcodes, your preferences. None of it affects anyone else's setup.
Beyond proofing, there's also focus typing mode, where everything outside your current paragraph fades out so you can write without distraction. and each individual can set their own markup color for track changes. So, in a collaborative document, it's always clear who made which edit.
Well, yes, that's actually wraps up the section 3. Now let's move on to automation, where customization really starts to scale. Standard mail merge outputs don't always match your business needs. You may need custom sender address, specific distribution rules, or specific post merge actions tailored to your workflow.
That's a real gap for teams running high volume document workflows. So, how can I customize the way documents are generated and distributed through mail merge, including sender address, distribution logic, and post merge actions?
Well, this is where mail merge goes from a basic feature to a proper workflow engine. On the sender side, you can customize the from email address so documents don't go out from a generic email address. A financial company sending out statements, for instance, can have them come from a named relationship manager or a department specific address. So, this small change makes a big difference in how communications land. And the output options goes beyond that as well, not just sending an email. So you can merge as a new document, merge and send the document via email, merge and then send the document for sign collection. And not only that, you can also merge and invoke a custom function which allows you to which actually opens up a new era of various options in the output settings. And not only that, if you'd like to send the document for approval, yes, you can do so. And we have also got merge and share a fillable link, which will allow you to collect additional data after the merge operation. So the merge operation isn't just the end of the workflow, it's the trigger for whatever comes next. So on the screen here, you can see that in the left, we have got the email as attachment option, where you can configure the from email address according to your preference. And similarly, on the right side, we have got the merge output settings panel. So we have got various options like we discussed. So we have merge and invoke custom function, merge and share fillable link under simple merge. And we also have an option called setup advanced merge, which I'll be showcasing that in the demo session.
So the entire distribution flow can be configured right inside the template, no jumping between tools. Now the other side of automation is signatures. What can teams do there?
Different departments or regions may require different e-signature providers. Customizing the sign service ensures your signature workflows align with your existing tools and compliance requirements.
Makes sense, especially for organizations already committed to a specific signing tool. So, how can I choose and configure my preferred e-signature service within Zoho Writer to match my organization's signing requirements?
Well, Writer gives you the flexibility to choose between Zoho Sign and DocuSign. So, if your organization already has a preferred provider, you're not forced to switch. You can configure it once and it plugs right into your existing signing workflow. So this is actually a new feature and it's currently in the testing phase, where you can select DocuSign as your preferred signing provider. So we'll be releasing that in the upcoming update, and which is expected soon. So from there, after this setting up the preferred workflow, you'll also have the ability to set up the signing order. So you can define who signs and also in what sequence. And the best part is all the signer details are dynamically pulled from the data source. So let's say for a procurement contract, that has to go to the department head first, then to the legal team, and then to the vendor. That structure is built right into the template. So there is no manual follow-up and no chasing for signatures. So on the screen here, as you can see, we have an option called send for sign using DocuSign or Zoho Sign. So right now we only support Zoho Sign, but we are also extending that and we are going to provide DocuSign soon. So it's just us. which is actually set to release in the next update. And similarly, on the right side, you can see the signing configuration, where you'll be able to configure the signers, and you can just pull in the email address from the data source. So it will be dynamically added. And not only that, you can also set sign in above order so that it becomes sequential. So the signing document first goes to the signer A, then to the B, and finally it goes to the C signer. So that's how you can configure the signing service in Zoho Writer. And now let's have a quick overview about these features in action. So here is the enterprise customer agreement document. And as you can see, if you'd like to configure the from email address, all you have to do is just go to merge and send via email, and you have to ensure the DKIM configurations are done, and you can choose the from email address according to your preference. So if you have any questions on that, you can as well use the configure sender email address option over here, and Menas will also be putting out the link in the meeting chat, so you can check that out and configure your email address so that all the documents that is being generated will be sent via your email address, and that to the chosen one according to your preference. And in this simple merge, we have got various categories, and we have gone through this already. Now let's just get into the advanced merge. So in advanced merge, you'll have options to entirely configure a workflow for a particular document. So in this case, what I've done is I've got two different customer sets in Zoho CRM, and those of you who requested for the CRM integration, here's how you can do that. So here, as you can see, what I've done is I have selected two records from Zoho CRM, and I'm going to actions and selecting mail merge and choosing my preferred document, which is the enterprise customer agreement. So now my data source is Zoho CRM. And in this case, what I'm going to do is these two customers are different customers. So one is actually an enterprise customer, and the other one is actually partner. So what I want is I just have to go ahead and do a perform a merge, but I want two different templates to be selected based on the customer type. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the filters option, and here I'm configuring rules. And I'm not just going to configure two rules. I've got 4 rules where you can see the customer type is enterprise, and here it is SME, and here it is one time, and finally I've got partner. So the selected records is actually enterprise and partner. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use individual documents for each customer type. So here I have selected enterprise customer webinar, which is the document in which I have built this customized automation. And second is SME service agreement, and third is one-time service agreement, and finally I have partner service agreement. So these are 4 different templates, and I have selected 2 records which contains different customer type. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge and send it via email. So now once this configuration is done, I'm just going to save this up. I've already saved it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and run the merge. Yes, just going through my configuration once and clicking on run merge. So now, as per my data source, I have selected 2 different records from Zoho CRM. One is an enterprise customer and the other one is a partner. So let's just check out the outputs here. So as you can see, 2 records selected and 2 documents are getting generated right now. So yes, so we have 2 different documents. So let me just first open up the first record, which is actually an enterprise customer, and let's see how the merge is done. So yes, as you can see here, the merge was initiated and the data, which is the CRM record, is filtered, and it is used the merge and store one, which is the enterprise customer agreement document. So now we'll be sending it out via email to the enterprise customer. Now let's just go to the second one. So it's still in progress, so I'll not be able to show you the output, but you get the entire idea. So now here, as you can see, this is the second record, and this is actually a partner, and as you can see, it's selected the partner service agreement as per my filtered data, and now it's currently in the emailing process. So this is how, using the advanced automation builder and using the records from your CRM, you'll be able to generate documents and basically provide a customized workflow according to your preference. So now let's move on to the next section, which was signing. So in here, I have got an agreement, which is will and testament. So here I have got three different signers. The first one is a testator, and I've got witness 1 and witness 2. So normally what we will do is we'll just go ahead and merge the document, and we'll be sending the signing by adding the email address of each testator, witness, and witness 2 manually. Whereas in Writer, you can make use of this option called merge and send for sign collection, and from your data source you can pull in the email addresses dynamically. So I'm pulling in the client email first, the witness second, and witness 2 as the third signer. So now once this is done, I can add the names, and here is where it becomes more interesting, where I'll enter that it has to be signed in the sequential order. So what will happen is, first it will go to my client, which is the signer A, and once the client puts in their signature, it goes to the signer B, who's witness 1, and then after the signing process for signer B is completed, it goes to the signer C. So this is how, using Zoho Writer, you'll be able to send out the documents for signature. And here is where we are going to introduce another option where you can choose DocuSign as the signing provider. So as of now, by default, we have Zoho Sign, which is actually extended to DocuSign. As definition, we'll be providing that in the upcoming update.
That's a really complete picture of how far you can customize the automation in Zoho Writer. Now let's move into the final section. Every organization has unique compliance, retention, and security needs. Custom governance controls ensure documents are protected, retained, and accessible only to the right people aligned with your specific policies.
Well, that's especially critical for regulated industries where a single misstep can have serious consequences. So as an enterprise admin, how can I customize document security, retention policies, and access controls to meet my organization's specific compliance and governance requirements?
Writer gives enterprise admins layered controls to protect documents at every level. Starting with access, you can restrict download, copy, and print for documents that contain sensitive information. A file classified as sensitive PII is automatically blocked from those actions for all users. The document is still viewable within the controlled environment, but the content doesn't leave it. That's a policy level control applied by classification, not a manual setting per document. For retention, admins can set policies on how long files stay in trash before they are moved to the admin console's deleted items, giving you a structured buffer before anything is permanently gone. This is critical for regulated industries where document lifecycle has to follow a defined policy. On screen here on the left is a real-life example of restriction in action. A file classified as sensitive PII with download, copy, and print action blocks for all users. On the right is the data retention panel where you can set the retention policy for trash in personal and team folders as well as for deleted items in the admin console.
Well, that's actually policy level controls, not manual per document settings. But enterprise customization goes beyond security and retention. So It's actually basically how the tool itself looks within your organization. So when it comes to that, what else can admins configure, Varda?
Organizations can also white label the writer experience entirely. Admins can upload a custom team logo which appears across user accounts, shared files, and email headers so the tool reflects your organization's identity rather than a generic interface. And beyond branding, you can configure a custom domain URL. So instead of documents being shared from writer.zoho.com, they go out from your own domain like documents.zilker.com. Every share link, every permalink carries your brand. On the screen here on the left is the branding panel showing the team logo upload with a live preview. On the right is the custom domain URL change showing how writer.zoho.com changes to the documents.zilker.com with the sample share links reflecting the change.
So from the very first look, it feels like your organization's own tool. So that's a great enterprise customization, Varda. So before we close, let's take a quick look at what's coming next in Zoho Writer. So that we have got three things on the horizon. First is workflow enhancement. So more granular approval routing with serial and parallel routing, scheduled workflows, and flexible approval policies where we have got anyone can approve, everyone must approve, majority approval required, like or a 75% threshold, etc. So for teams managing multi-stakeholder reviews, this is going to be a very meaningful upgrade. Second, we have improved accessibility compliance. So writers' editing experience is being updated to better align with WCAG AA standards, making it more inclusive across the board. And third, ODT and doc editing support. So we are going to provide native editing for ODT and doc file formats, so writer can work more seamlessly across different file ecosystems. And that brings us to the end of today's session. So just to give you a quick recap, we have covered 5 levels of customization in Writer: organization templates, fonts, and reusable content blocks. We have got document level formatting defaults, personal snippets, and editor preferences. And we have also talked about mail merge and e-signature, and also enterprise governance, where we talked about security, retention, branding, and access. So thank you so much everyone for joining today, and hoping to see you in the next webinar. Have a great day. Cheers. Bye-bye.